Hello and welcome to Soundtrack Collector, your channel for insights about music composed and recorded for the screen. I'm your host, Kristopher Spencer, author of Film and Television Scores 1950 to 1979, A Critical History, published by McFarland and Company. This channel is for anyone who enjoys movie music and wants to know more about it. Each episode of the Soundtrack Collector will tackle a unique topic, such as a particular composer or notable soundtracks within a given genre, from crime dramas to horror to science fiction and beyond. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'd love to chat about soundtracks with you. Now, as you already know, this episode is sort of a top 15 or even top 20 of Hans Zimmer soundtracks, or you could think of it as a top 10 with honorable mentions. Zimmer is probably the most influential composer on movie scores working today. Zimmer's scoring style is distinguished by several key characteristics. Number one is blending traditional orchestral arrangements with electronic sounds to create a unique sonic landscape. Number two is his use of modal, mixture, and chord extensions, which results in a more dynamic listening experience. Number three is utilizing unconventional instruments and sound design techniques to create a sense of tension and movement within his scores. Number four is the emphasis on themes and motifs that allow audiences to connect emotionally with characters and narratives. Number five is his emphasis on psychological depth rather than dramatic movement that alters the audience's perception of scenes. Number six is his collaboration with various artists and composers, enriching his work with diverse influences and allowing for a broader range of styles and ideas within his scores. All of these characteristics contribute to Zimmer's innovative approach, continually pushing the boundaries of film music. Now, when it comes to ranking Zimmer's work, it's really no easy task. The man has done a lot, and a lot of it is worth hearing. So you can consider my list to be somewhat subjective, but also rooted in thorough research. In other words, I've done some of the heavy lifting for you, and you can rest assured that there really are no duds on this list. However, you may have some favorites of your own that aren't on this list, and you may rank them completely differently, which is great. Just leave a comment and let me know what your favorites are. If you want to listen to examples of Zimmer's scores, look for a link below to a curated playlist I've created on YouTube Music. So without further ado, let's get into my top 15 or so Hans Zimmer soundtracks. At number 15, I have Rango from 2011. Zimmer's soundtrack for this animated movie is characterized by his incorporation of authentic Mexican music, which Zimmer achieved by collaborating with musicians from Mexico, of course, including members of the band Los Lobos. This approach aimed to create a genuine sound that resonates with the film's themes and setting. Zimmer's composition also draws heavily from the influences of Ennio Morricone, particularly his iconic Western scores. At number 14, I have Blade Runner 2049 from 2017. Zimmer's soundtrack for this sci-fi spectacle, co-composed with Benjamin Wallfisch, is haunting and atmospheric. It pays homage to the original film while establishing its own unique identity. The music combines lush orchestral arrangements with electronic soundscapes, creating an immersive auditory experience. A variety of textures made by deep synths and ethereal vocals evoke the film's themes of memory, identity, and dystopia. The use of motifs reminiscent of Vangelis's original score enhances the connection to the Blade Runner legacy. The soundtrack effectively complements the film's striking visuals and complex narrative, earning critical acclaim for its innovative approach to sound design in science fiction cinema. At number 13, I have 12 Years a Slave from 2013. Zimmer's soundtrack for this historical drama is poignant and emotionally charged score that reflects the harrowing journey of Solomon Northup, a free man who is kidnapped and sold into slavery. The music combines orchestral elements with subtle, haunting motifs, effectively conveying the film's themes of suffering, resilience, and hope. Zimmer employs a minimalist approach here, utilizing sparse instrumentation and delicate piano melodies to evoke a sense of intimacy and vulnerability amidst the brutality depicted on screen. Standout tracks like Solomon and The Blood capture both the despair of enslavement and the yearning for freedom, while the incorporation of traditional African musical elements adds authenticity to the narrative. At number 12, I have Black Hawk Down from 2001. Zimmer's soundtrack for Black Hawk Down is a visceral and experimental score that captures the chaotic intensity of the film's depiction of modern warfare. Composed in collaboration with a team of musicians, this score was developed through jam sessions, resulting in a raw and fragmented sound that reflects the disorientation experienced by the soldiers in combat. Zimmer incorporated a variety of instruments, including traditional African sounds and vocal performances, notably featuring Senegalese singer Baba Maal, to create an authentic atmosphere. Now, the music eschews conventional melodies in favor of jagged rhythms and dissonant harmonies, enhancing the film's harrowing narrative. Standout tracks like Leave No Man Behind contribute to the emotional weight of the story, making the soundtrack not only a backdrop for action, but also a poignant commentary on the human cost of war. At number 11, I have The Last Samurai from 2003. Zimmer's soundtrack for this Tom Cruise vehicle is a richly evocative score that beautifully blends Western orchestral elements with traditional Japanese motifs, reflecting the film's themes of honor, conflict, and cultural transformation. This score features haunting melodies and powerful instrumentation using ethnic instruments like the koto and shakuhachi to create an authentic soundscape that immerses the listener in the film's historical context. Standout tracks like A Way of Life convey deep emotional resonance, capturing both the introspective moments and the epic battle sequences. Zimmer's masterful compositions not only enhance the narrative, but also serve as a poignant exploration of the samurai spirit. At number 10, I have a tie of Sherlock Holmes from 2009 and its sequel Game of Shadows from 2011. Zimmer's soundtracks for the Sherlock Holmes films are brilliantly eccentric and innovative in a way they perfectly capture the quirky energy of Guy Ritchie's reimagining of the iconic detective. Zimmer created a unique sonic palette by using unconventional instruments and techniques, including a detuned piano, cymbalum, banjo, and squeaky violins. Now, the first score's standout track, Discombobulate, embodies the off-kilter yet methodical nature of Robert Downey Jr.'s Holmes with jaunty, syncopated rhythms and playful instrumentation. Zimmer expanded on these themes with the sequel, A Game of Shadows, further developing character motifs and introducing new elements to reflect the escalating stakes. Throughout both films, the music deftly balances Victorian-era sensibilities with a modern, energetic edge, enhancing the film's blend of action and mystery and humor, while providing a distinct auditory identity for this fresh take of the consulting detective. At number 9, I have The Thin Red Line from 1998. Zimmer's soundtrack for The Thin Red Line is a groundbreaking and deeply atmospheric score that perfectly complements Terrence Malick's philosophical war film. Composed in collaboration with Klaus Badell over several months before filming even began, the music blends orchestral elements with unconventional sounds, including Melanesian choral chants, Asian instruments like the shakuhachi and koto, and innovative use of strings. The score is characterized by its haunting ethereal quality, with standout tracks like Journey to the Line becoming iconic beyond the film itself. Zimmer's approach kind of eschews traditional war film music tropes, instead focusing on creating a sense of introspection and emotional depth that mirrors the film's themes of nature, humanity, and the psychological toll of war. The soundtrack's influence has been far-reaching, with pieces like Journey to the Line frequently used in trailers for other films. At number 8, I have another war movie, Dunkirk from 2017. Zimmer's soundtrack for Dunkirk is innovative and intensely immersive musical experience that perfectly captures the film's harrowing wartime atmosphere. Composed over an 11-month period, the score is built around the shepherd tone auditory illusion, creating a sense of constant rising tension that mirrors the film's narrative urgency. Zimmer collaborated closely with filmmaker Kristopher Nolan and sound designer Richard King to create a soundscape that makes the audience feel uncomfortable, using unconventional techniques like slowing down Edward Elgar's Enigma variations to just 6 beats per minute and incorporating sounds like boat engines and ticking clocks. The standout track, The Mole, exemplifies the score's restless, dramatic quality with its tense instrumentation featuring 14 cellos played at a high register and deliberate focus on creating sonic tension rather than traditional melodic themes. It is one of his most challenging and innovative scores. At number 7, I have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003. Zimmer's soundtracks for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise provide a vibrant and adventurous musical journey that perfectly captures the swashbuckling spirit of the films. Initially, Zimmer collaborated with Klaus Badelt on the first film, then took full control from the second movie onward, creating iconic themes like the playful Jack Sparrow and the brooding Davy Jones motifs. The score brilliantly balances orchestral grandeur with quirky, unpredictable elements that mirror Captain Jack's character, featuring loping low strings, drunken waltzes, and energetic reels. From the first film, he's a pirate theme, to the more complex musical landscapes of the sequels, Zimmer crafted soundtracks that became as memorable and distinctive as the characters themselves. At number 6, I have Dune from 2021 and its sequel from 2024. Now, his soundtracks for Dune and Dune Part 2 are revolutionary and immersive sonic experiences that perfectly capture the alien mystical world of Arrakis. Blending orchestral elements with innovative electronic sounds and haunting vocals, Zimmer creates a unique auditory landscape that enhances the film's epic scale and emotional depth. The score features distinctive themes for different factions and characters, with standout tracks like Paul's Dream and Ripples in the Sand from the first film and A Time of Quiet Between the Storms from the sequel. Zimmer's use of unconventional instruments, including some custom-made instruments, really adds to the otherworldly atmosphere. His work for Dune earned him his second Academy Award, while the continuation in Dune Part 2 further expands on established themes, introducing new motifs that reflect the evolving story. The soundtrack's blend of primal rhythms, ethereal melodies, and powerful crescendos effectively conveys the harsh brutality of the desert planet and the mystical aspects of the Fremen culture. At number 5, I have Interstellar from 2014. Zimmer's soundtrack for Interstellar is emotionally powerful, and in the way it perfectly captures the film's themes of love, time, and cosmic wonder. Centered around a haunting organ sound recorded at London's Temple Church, the score blends orchestral elements with electronic textures to create a unique sonic landscape yet again. Zimmer's innovative approach included composing based on a brief story from Christopher Nolan before the script was even written, resulting in the heart of the score, a simple yet profound piano piece representing fatherhood. Now, the soundtrack features standout tracks like Mountains and Stay, which use intricate time signatures to reflect the film's exploration of relativity. Zimmer's use of 60-voice choir along with 34 strings, 24 woodwinds, and 4 pianos really adds depth and grandeur to the score. Critically acclaimed and nominated for numerous awards, the Interstellar soundtrack is actually considered by Zimmer himself to be his best work, at least up to that point. It really perfectly complements the film's visual and emotional journey through time and space. At number 4, I actually have 3 movies. The Dark Knight trilogy, of course, from 2005 to 2012. Zimmer's soundtracks for the trilogy form a trailblazing and influential work that redefined superhero film music. Collaborating with James Newton Howard on Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, Zimmer created dark, brooding sonic landscapes that perfectly capture the gritty realism of Christopher Nolan's vision for Batman. The scores are characterized by the use of deep, resonant brass, pulsing electronic elements, and a simple yet powerful two-note motif representing Batman himself. Standout tracks include the menacing Why So Serious for the Joker, featuring distorted electric cello, and the haunting A Dark Knight theme. For The Dark Knight Rises, Zimmer composed Solo, introducing the chanting Deshi Basara motif for the villain Bane. Throughout the trilogy, Zimmer's innovative blend of orchestral and electronic elements, along with his use of unconventional instrumentation and recording techniques, created a tense, atmospheric score that greatly enhanced these films' emotional impact and have since influenced numerous superhero and action movie soundtracks, including some of Zimmer's own for the later Superman movies. At number 3, I have Inception from 2010. Zimmer's soundtrack for Inception is a personal favorite. It is a mind-bending musical journey that ingeniously reflects the film's complex narrative of dreams and reality. Remarkably, the entire score was inspired by the Edith Piaf song featured in the movie, with Zimmer slowing down and transforming the song's elements into the score's foundational themes. The soundtrack blends electronic and orchestral elements yet again, creating a haunting, layered soundscape really, that mirrors the film's intricate dream within a dream structure. Johnny Marr of the Smiths contributed distinctive guitar work, adding unique textures to the score. Tracks like Time and Dream is Collapsing have become iconic, capturing the film's sense of temporal distortion and emotional depth. Zimmer's innovative approach earned the soundtrack numerous award nominations, including an Academy Award nod, cementing its place as one of the most distinctive film scores of the 21st century. At number 2, I have Gladiator from 2000. Zimmer's soundtrack for Gladiator is a powerful and emotionally resonant musical journey that perfectly captures the epic scale of ancient Rome. Composed in collaboration, yet again, with Klaus Badelt and Dead Can Dance's Lisa Gerrard, the score blends orchestral grandeur with world music elements featuring instruments like the duduk and yangqin to create a unique sonic landscape. The soundtrack is anchored by haunting vocal performances, particularly on the iconic track Now We Are Free, and features memorable themes like Elysium and Honor Him. Zimmer's music dramatically enhances the film's emotional depth, bringing to life the brutality and nobility of the Roman Empire, and was so distinctive that it even prompted a copyright lawsuit from the Gustav Holst estate for its similarity to Mars, the bringer of war from the planets. Now, the soundtrack won a Golden Globe for Best Original Score and was nominated for an Academy Award. At number 1, I have The Lion King from 1994. Zimmer's soundtrack for The Lion King is a masterful blend of orchestral and African musical elements that really captures the emotional depth and grandeur of the film. Now, the score features powerful themes that enhance key moments such as the iconic Circle of Life and poignant scenes surrounding Simba's journey. Zimmer's compositions incorporate traditional African rhythms and instruments, creating an immersive soundscape that complements the film's narrative, growth and loss and redemption. His work on this soundtrack not only earned him his first Academy Award, but also solidified his reputation as one of the leading film composers of his generation, showcasing his ability to evoke deep emotional resonance through music. So, what are your favorite Zimmer scores? Let me know in the comments. In future episodes, we'll take a look at the work of other movie composers, both contemporary and classic, especially from like the 1950s through 1980s, really a transformative era of movie scoring history when composers began to incorporate jazz and funk and rock and electronic and experimental sounds. My hope is to add a Patreon channel later where I'll play some of this music for reaction. Let me know if you're interested in that. Subscribe and to stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and see you next time.